What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Shaun, and joining me as always is living example of the Doppler effect, Mr. Ciara Lawler.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, for God's sake.
I think he's clearly misunderstood the Doppler effect there, but that's fine. That's absolutely grand.
What is the Doppler effect?
The Doppler effect is where the pitch of the sound changes based on the position of the kind of receiver of the sound. So you gotta go like, whoa, and then it sounds different depending on where it gets the microphone. Is the new thing
that you just try to get me to do more and more ridiculous things as an intro?
Yeah. That's
okay. That's
fair.
As long as I'm aware.
Podcast, Connor.
As long as I'm aware. I did come across quite dumb for the first few seconds. It's too early. Shaun, it's Friday. I'm trying to relax for the weekend, right? I'm not trying to think about Doppler effects.
No, you're trying to think about sweet cans with the boys.
Parties. They call me Party Boy.
They do, Shaun, and what they also do is they ask you to introduce what Hero or Zero is.
This is Hero or Zero, where we pick one comic book character every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we generally just give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. So I normally choose DC characters, Shaun normally chooses Marvel characters. Last week I did a very excellent report on Mr. Blue Devil. He is a guy who is a Blue Devil. Let's not get into it. If you want to know more, you can go back and listen to it. It's kind of weird.
Nah, I wouldn't do it myself.
Shaun, you're probably introducing a shit Marvel character this week. They're real bad. So go on.
This is a Marvel character, you're correct, where...
Oh, shit.
No. This character has been around for ages, and it's often unfairly compared to a DC character, I would say.
Oh, probably because it's copying, I'd say.
This came first.
No.
But there's actually an interesting story I will tell you. So, I am covering the Marvel Comics character of Man-Thing. Okay?
Man-Thing.
Man-Thing, yeah. Often compared to DC's Swamp Thing.
Is there a worse name than Man-Thing for
it's pretty
any
bad.
Character?
It's pretty bad, I will say.
That's like the first draft. Right, we've created this character. Right, what we call it? Man-Thing?
When Stan Lee used to give briefs to Marvel artists and Marvel writers, if he wanted just like a vague, nondescript monster, he would just call it a Man-Thing, apparently.
Yeah.
And,
makes
that
sense.
name just stuck throughout the whole production of this. But I don't know if you're aware of DC's Swamp Thing, like as a character. But
I think they did a series, and I think it was 6 episodes, and I can't remember how many episodes it got in. It got cancelled very early.
Yeah, it did. It got cancelled real early on. But Man-Thing was debuted in May of 1971, and Swamp Thing debuted in July of 1971. Now, what's interesting is that the creator of Man-Thing and the creator of Swamp Thing were roommates in the years of 1970 and 1971.
Hang on a minute. Okay.
So it's possible that the two men just came up with an idea and decided to sell it to 2 separate companies.
And they definitely were smart enough to go, right, but we'll just change it slightly so they'll both buy it.
Copy my homework, but don't make it obvious.
Wow, that is so, as a money-making scheme in the 70s, let's sell an idea to Stan Lee. He's looking for any ideas these days.
He'll take a filing cabinet if you have it.
Marvel are fucking bankrupt. They don't give a shit.
And so, here is a quick rundown of everything to do with Marvel's Man-Thing. So, Dr. Ted Sallis was a biochemistry professor who worked at Empire State University, where everyone important in Marvel went to college.
That's true.
The US Army recruited him into Project Sulphur, which aimed to allow soldiers to survive biochemical warfare. With the Army, he developed a serum called SO2, hoping to imitate the Captain America Super Soldier Serum.
It seems to be like a major plot point in most years of Marvel, that they're just like, there's a serum or we're copying a different serum, or we're trying to develop a Captain America serum.
So many people got powers trying to imitate the Cap. Like, that's how the Hulk came about. That was trying to imitate Captain America's super soldier
because
serum.
I mean, it's a simple enough story, but most hero origins are all like there's the same 5. They just kind of copy. So it's always like he either drinks something, or we inject him into it, or he gets hit by lightning while surrounded by chemicals, something along those lines.
Yeah, and so like, you had this serum that worked once, and so everyone's just been trying to recreate it ever since. So he developed this serum. It also gave the user immunity to all known toxic biochemicals, but it became unusable because it discovered that it turned its users into mutated monsters. So,
okay,
fairly not great for an army of people.
Yeah, so like you become immune, but you're also now a monster. I mean, not a great trade-off.
Yeah, and so after a little-known man called Curt Connors,
I've heard of him.
That's it. He was a field medic in the war, and so he lost his arm in a battle. Ted Sallis met Curt in the hospital, and the two began discussing the Captain America 2.0 project. So while he was unable to afford to hire Curt Connors once they returned to the United States, Ted aided him in his cell regeneration research, which soon led Connors towards using lizard DNA.
Makes sense. Because lizards are the
never
best.
go wrong. Lizards are peak. Why would anyone not want to be a lizard?
Lizards are the peak. I'll turn everyone into a lizard for a 12-hour period. Just watch me.
And so Ted was at this point lecturing at Empire State University, and he soon fell in love with one of his students named Ellen Brandt.
She's not going to survive.
Well, Ted's about 40 at this point, and Ellen Brandt is 19.
It's the 70s.
It's the 70s. That was all fine, apparently. The two eloped, and after their honeymoon, they visited a fortune teller who foretold a catastrophic change in their relationship, Connor.
Oh, no.
No, fortune teller.
He's going to stop doing the dishes. Oh, no.
He's going to spend all of his time with that damn car.
He's already approaching midlife crisis anyway. He's like, oh, no. He bought a motorbike.
So, due to his own research into the Captain America 2.0 serum, that needed to be moved to somewhere a bit more private, a bit more secluded. So, he discussed with Ellen the idea of moving to the Everglades in Florida, where he could be closer to Curt Connors as well, one of his friends. So, he modified the SO2 formula as the basis for the new super soldier serum. But there's a group in Marvel Comics I've not talked about a whole bunch. It's called AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics. They show up in Iron Man 3 very briefly.
Okay.
And they're basically Hydra, but not as weird mythical god kind of stuff.
Not as cool.
Yeah. They're like the anti-Shield, but not Hydra, if that makes sense.
Right, okay. I'd say when they found out about Hydra, that's what we were going to do.
We were so good at that.
Oh, so, damn.
AIM wanted the serum, and they conspired with Ellen, who had been neglected by Ted since their honeymoon. He was too focused on the work, too focused on that damn car, Connor.
I knew this was going to go wrong.
So upon completing the new serum, Ted committed the formula to memory and burnt all records of it. Ellen then led Ted into an AIM ambush, and he attempted to flee and to reach Curt Connors' lab. Now, on the way, he ran off the road and injected the only existing sample of the formula into himself before his car crashed into the swamp.
Okay. Oh,
and
no.
Here is the most beautiful line. Not a swamp thing, Connor.
Sorry.
Let's make that distinction.
I mean, you just said specifically he fell into a swamp and has injected himself with stuff.
He should have died, Connor.
Oh, no.
But the magical energies of the swamp combined with the serum, as well as some of Kurt Connors' regeneration serum.
Fuck off. Are we combining magical energies of swamps with regeneration serums? You never get magical energy and serums in the same origin.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. He was transformed into the hideous creature which would come to be known as the Man-Thing.
Swamp Thing is a better name, really, for what they are.
But like, you can see it in the comic panel where like some terrified soldier is just like, it's some kind of man thing, and then that just stuck. So his intelligence rapidly fading, Man-Thing slew the agents and horribly burned half of Ellen's face.
Oh no, she's Two-Face.
Well, she was in the end anyway. She betrayed him. But
oh yeah, Ellen Dent.
Yeah, Ellen Dent, the very same. And unknown to Salas, Ellen had actually been pregnant at the time.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh no, baby Thing.
So, and we're going to take a bit of a break at this point to talk about Ellen for a second.
I thought you were going to introduce like skills chair. We're going to take a bit of a break. We're going to do an ad read.
The skill of burning your wife's face off. I'd
very
love to
similar
share
to making a website.
This DSLR photography course. So Ellen later underwent surgery that repaired her face, but that was only temporary. She gave the child up for adoption and punished herself for her crimes by surrendering to alcohol, drugs, and the most 70s phrase of all, carnal indulgence, Connor.
Oh, you don't want the carnal indulgence. The drugs are fine, like heroin, meth, all fine. But you don't want the indulgence.
No. And so, driven mad by the face she saw in the mirror, she ended up in Massachusetts Roswell Mental Hospital, eventually being restored to sanity. Okay?
Okay.
So, Man-Thing's weird, because Man-Thing isn't a person. Like, it's not a he. Like, it's an it. Like, it's... Oh, you're going to hate this.
So, no identity of the Doctor remains?
No, Ted Salas doesn't remain in there anymore for all intents and purposes. Occasionally he'll crop back up in a story, but Man-Thing is purely motivated by protecting the swamp. And Man-Thing has no goals. Man-Thing is not good or bad. He just is. And
okay, but say the sentence about the swamp again.
He's protecting the swamp.
Are you doing an origin story or your Hero Zero on Swamp Thing, or this is Man-Thing, is it?
Oh, Connor, this is about to go off the fucking rails all of a sudden.
Here we go. Okay.
Allegedly. Before Earth was formed.
Fuck off. Okay, alright, go on.
A creator being from before time spawned the fallen stars. Each one of these an embodiment of its own thoughts. I know. And so...
Okay.
On Earth, the creator made a woman named Cleto, representing the nature of reality. Okay? You're with me. I can tell by your look on your face you're with me.
I'm kind of with you. Go on.
Cleto then spawned Adam K. Admon, the first...
I'm not with you. Go on.
The first man of lineage from this like celestial being. And the birth site of Adam became the nexus of reality, a focal point uniting all dimensions. So
can't believe you just read that off the top of your head. You didn't even look down.
Fucking off the top of my dome, man. It's
fucking hell. So
basically, and then all of the descendants of Adam K. Admon served as guardians of the Nexus, defending basically all of reality, all the realities in the multiverse across all of Marvel Comics, all meet in this one point, and it's that swamp that Man-Thing protects.
Fuck off.
And because Man-Thing, Ted Salas, is a descendant of Adam K. Admon.
what are the chances of that?
Wild, isn't it?
No, not wild. Ludicrous. Not like, jeez, that's mad, isn't it? Let's move on. That's a plot point we're agreeing on. That is a stretch.
Yeah, it's quite bad, I will say.
So the one guy who's a descendant of the ancient, I'm not even Adam.
The guardian of all the nexus of all realities.
Guardian of all the nexus of fucking hell. Yes. So the one descendant on Earth just so happens to inject himself with a serum as he falls into the swamp that he's the centre of the all universes.
Destiny, Connor. It works in mysterious ways.
Ooh, ex machina. Swamp ex machina.
And so, here's a big main story kind of session.
Okay.
So, recently, dimensional travel had shattered the nexus of realities. And so Doctor Strange recruited Ellen Brandt to help Man-Thing restore it, trying to appeal to his humanity. Okay? In the process, Man-Thing was possessed by Adam K. Admon. The history of the Men of Lineage was revealed, and Ted learned that his relation with Ellen was predestined to restore the hereditary mission. So all of the men in the Salas family have been destined to be guardians of the nexus of all realities. Swamp Thing is just a man who fell in a swamp.
That is hardly fair. That the two of them came up with that, the same idea. And then one of them, I love the fact that the Marvel guy went off and was just don't tell him, right? But we're going to put the swamp as the centre of the universe. And he's a fucking descendant of the first man.
He's the most important character there's ever been.
Most important character. But I just keep telling him it's a fucking swamp monster. Don't say fucking nothing.
Some kind of man thing. I didn't even give him a good name. You'll never know.
Don't care. Don't even care. I care about the ideas, the plot.
So, their efforts to restore the Nexus were opposed by another one of those beings created earlier, before time. Of course.
Yeah, so mad.
His name was Mr. Admodius Q. Terminius, and he was the embodiment of finality, who he had captured the son of Ted and Ellen, and had trained him as a disciple. What?
Who wrote this?
Several writers over the course of decades.
Nonsense! It's all nonsense. Go on.
So he used the power of a Nexus fragment to shatter the Nexus, wiping out all of reality. Alright? Now I know what you're thinking. That's bad for everyone
Surely
involved.
That's the end of the story, is what I would say.
However,
they wiped out reality and then hit us with a however.
Salas's nature as the man of lineage, and then in brackets, combined with his love of Ellen,
fuck off,
allowed him to briefly maintain the dream of existence. He joined forces with his son, who rebelled against his mentor to reimagine the dream that had formed reality. And as such, all of existence was restored, Connor.
Genuinely?
Yeah.
They're just making this shit as they go along. They're just...
Abso-fucking-lutely they are.
There's no rules. There's no logic. You can wipe out a universe. You can bring in fucking people from before time. It's grand. But his son can go dream up a scenario and make reality real. Shaun, I think you've gone too far. I think this is the story where you've lost me.
That's entirely fair. I said to you earlier on in the week I needed more time for this to try and make it more sensible. This is as good as I got to.
No,
it's
I'm
fucking
not blaming
bonkers.
You. I'm not blaming you. You didn't write it. I'm blaming everyone involved.
And look, one thing that I just thought was funny. At one point, Man-Thing and Ellen merged and became the concept of reality or some shit.
The one-man thing.
So that the stories could continue. The magic of the swamp reformed Man-Thing's original form with all of the memories of Ted Salas. So they just put him back.
That's very good. That's really handy, just in terms of a plot point. I mean, nobody would even think of doing that unless you didn't have any rules. Just kind of do whatever you want.
Just kind of make it up and sell it to DC on the side. That's absolutely fine.
It's a magic swamp, right? What are you asking us for? I'm telling you the facts.
And so, just one last little bit of a story before we get on to powers and abilities, is that Man-Thing was the most startling swamp creature of all, until one day he scratched a wound into Spider-Man, Peter Parker.
Oh my God.
Caused Peter Parker to begin mutating into another swamp-like creature. Seeing a similar life form, it tracked Peter to New York.
What was Peter doing out with the swamp?
He was just in Florida for a time.
Just hanging out with the swamp?
Yeah, hanging out with the swamp, boy.
Yeah, why not?
And Man-Thing's, one of his powers is that anyone who feels fear is burned by Man-Thing's touch. That's just something that happens, right? So you're going to love this bit of comic book bullshit. So, Spider-Man feared what he was becoming. And so, the chemicals that caused the transformation were burned from the hero's form, restoring him to the status quo. And then, Man-Thing feared being alone in the world and was consumed in flames by its own power and burnt to ashes. It remains to be seen if and when it will regenerate.
Honestly, that's the worst story I've ever heard. And we've covered a lot of this show.
We've covered some dog shit stories.
We've covered
that's
some
a big
bad
claim.
characters. Like, bad, absolute... This might be the worst story I've ever heard.
It goes from like 0 to 100 really, really quick.
Like, it's just, there's no logic. There's no reasoning. They didn't start with like story 1 and then work their way through. They got to 1, then did a load of drugs. They got to issue 2 and they're like, fuck it, we may figure out something here. And then they did that, they went, well, we may go madder than the last one.
He's king of the universe.
Right, how we've just fucking erased the whole universe, right? How do we get that back? Does anyone have any ideas how to get the universe back? Because we did a big plot point from the last one.
I mean, yeah, it is quite an insane story. But he stuck around. Like, he was introduced as like a horror character in the 70s. But he keeps just popping back up.
The fear in Peter Parker burned away all the stuff.
Just made things fine again.
His fear of being alone killed him.
Yeah. Despite the fact that he's never felt any feelings before.
When they came up with that, they high-fived. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
We've nailed this.
And they didn't think about it any further after that.
It's if you were in college doing a film course, which we have done, if at the very first draft, it's like they did the first draft and they were like, that seems fine. Yeah. There's no need to refine it. It's absolutely grand.
Best draft, I always say.
That's where you put your best ideas out. When people are like, they're in the round table throwing out ideas, everybody's idea gets put in at once. And we're just like, we're not going to filter them out. We're just going to try and fit them all in. Because they're all good ideas, guys. Yeah.
There's no wrong answers.
There's no wrong answers except for everything we just did.
So, powers and abilities. So, first of all, he's composed of vegetable matter, formed by a mixture of mystical energy and swamp mutagens. He can ooze through gaps that are very small. He can shape and elongate his limbs to grab people or create blade-like weapons from bark-like material.
Wow.
He is capable of self-propelled flight.
How?
He can fly.
How is my... Yeah, but why and how?
He makes a big wooden helicopter out of his arms.
Like, if you said he could fly around the swamp, I'd say, well, the swamp's probably giving him some weird magic. But, like, he's flying to Atlanta, like he's just flying miles away.
He's just flying. He's just soaring. Yeah. Flew to New York, you know. He possesses superhuman strength. He can lift a 2,000-pound automobile. Supposedly his strength is limitless, as he is the living embodiment of the Earth's life force, making him one of the physically strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. He can control and manipulate plant life. He has empathy / acidic secretion. So, as Man-Thing...
They're not two things that should be together.
No, they're really not. He doesn't have thoughts or feelings of his own. He's more guided by, like emotions that he can sense around the place. So mild emotions will cause him to, like, come close and observe. Violent emotions will cause him to attack. When someone feels fear and Man-Thing touches them, they are burned with an acid. Once they stop feeling fear, the acid will stop. But presumably, once you're being burned by the acid, you're pretty afraid for the rest of your life. I would
say once the acid starts, the fear will not go away.
No. I would say you're fairly terrified through the whole endeavour. Through his access to the nexus of realities, he has the ability to move things from one dimension to another.
Oh, he's an interdimensional traveller who could fly.
Interdimensional travel, yeah. He has size enhancement, so he can grow to massive sizes. He can teleport.
Of course. I was wondering, because once you travel dimensions, I'm thinking, how is he going to get around on our dimension, though? Teleportation.
Yes. And
flight.
And flight. And he also has regeneration. He can regenerate his body from plant and vegetable matter. And he also has this is a Marvel language, and it's called Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Excelsior, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was eventually granted speech in the comics, and he spoke Excelsior, which is the universal language of Marvel. So everyone hears him in a way that they are accustomed to.
That's very handy.
Yeah, so to the likes of Captain America, he speaks normal. For the character Ghost, the assassin, to her, he's very concise and to the point. And to a character called Mr. Hyde, he sounds like a drunken Englishman. It's whatever you're most comfortable understanding, Man-Thing will speak to you in.
Once again, doesn't need to make any sense. They're just doing it for the crack in the story. What can you do?
And on the 1 to 7 rating system, he has a durability of 6, energy projection of 5, fighting skills of 4, intelligence of 4, speed of 4, but it's really 7 because he can teleport, and a strength of 5. So
that's pretty overpowered tree.
Yeah, but like he just wants to protect the swamp. That's all he wants to do.
But does he though? Because he's travelling dimensions and he's teleporting. Where's he teleporting to? He only wants to stay in the swamp.
Because now they're at the point where everyone knows about Man-Thing. It's like, what's Man-Thing's deal? Oh, he protects that one point in the world where you can travel between realities. So all the villains are just like, let's just attack there.
But you couldn't defeat him. He'll just put you in a different dimension.
Yeah, pretty much. And he'll team up with... He's been involved in several team-ups. He was on the Thunderbolts for a while, which is like the Suicide Squad of Marvel.
That seems pointless to get him out of the swamp.
He's basically used as doorman. Like he's a teleport. Like he's the way in and he's the way out, basically.
Right, okay. And the muscle.
And the muscle, exactly. You're not going to pick a fight with him. But that's my report on Man-Thing. I did my best.
I think you did very well, and I think our lives would all be better for never having to hear about him again.
I think so. I'm looking forward to the Swamp Thing report that is undoubtedly coming.
It's next week. And it's going to be way better.
Just 2 very similar Instagram posts about this.
Back to back. Do you want me to take it out, Shaun?
Yes, please, Connor.
So you can head on over to our Patreon if you want to get in touch with us, or if you want to get access to all of our extra movie reviews that we do over there. That's patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. We recently put out a video of one of the Mighty Ducks review. So if you want to go check that out, it's like a 40-second video on our Instagram and Facebook.
46, I'll have you know.
46. That'll give you a bit of a taster, but we have loads of reviews up there of loads of superhero movies, so it's not just the Mighty Ducks. We've also done Power Rangers, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's kind of a
and
weird
good movies
selection.
as well.
And good movies. We have actually done some good movies. They vary quite violently. So if you want to support the show, you can head on over there. It's $5 or more a month. And basically, if it's $2, you get a shout out on the show as well. So the link will be down below. You can also head on over to our Facebook page. We have a Facebook group, which is Detective Divilment's discussion group. So if you want to join up to there, we've had a few people asking during the week that asking for membership, Shaun. They want in on the chats.
They want
so
in. And we no, says we. No
I always reject.
It's just me and
I
Connor.
said no. It's just and we just said good show back and forth to each other.
You were really funny today.
That's to yourself. Why'd you tag yourself in it?
God. Care react.
You can also follow us on Twitter. It's at Heroes for Hire Pod. The 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Heroes for Hire Podcast. Instagram is Heroes for Hire Podcast. We also have a merch store if you want to get some hats, mugs, t-shirts, anything to do with Heroes for Hire. That link will be down below as well. But most importantly, just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
So I have been Conor Lawler.
I have been Shaun Meehan.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.